Substantive procedures is a very important part in your AA exam or even in your AAA exam for that matter, because procedures are what? Procedures are basically methods and techniques to obtain evidence. When we talk about evidence, the point is how do we gather evidence in order to substantiate a claim that is already made in the financial statements? And where do these claims come from? Where does this idea come from? To get a better understanding of that, first of all, we need to know what is the entire process of preparation of financial statements. Okay, the financial statements are prepared by the management. Ultimately, it is the management's responsibility to prepare the financial statements. Now, see, understand the whole process behind it. Let's think about the fact that there's a company, and this company has, say, maybe 10,000 different shareholders. Now all of these shareholders, they are primary owners of the company, right? Somebody would be a 2% owner, somebody would be a 0.5% owner, somebody else could be a 10% owner, but all of these individual shareholders are part owners of the company. Now naturally it is impossible for all 10,000 of them to be present in one place and make decisions for the company. They will spend their entire lifetimes only doing discussions and there will be no decision ever. So what happens is the company, upon these shareholders, they come together in a meeting, and in that meeting they appoint a couple of individuals to run the company on their behalf. These individuals who are appointed to run the company on their behalf are known as the directors of the company. Okay, when I talk of directors, directors are individuals who have been appointed by me, or me as in by all the shareholders, to run the company on my behalf. Okay, so all the funds that are raised by the company by way of equity, debt from all different sources are in the company's bank account. We cannot run the business, so these people are going to run the business on our behalf. They are going to be using our money to run the business of the company. Now,
Mm.
when your parents give you 5,000 rupees and you're going out for a trip and they give you 5,000 rupees, it is their money, right? And when you come back from the trip, they are going to ask you a report. Where did you spend that 5,000? And you will have to give a detailed statement of 1,000 was spent on food and 200 was spent on bus and 300 was spent on something else. And after that, if they are not convinced of what you are saying, they will ask for proof that show me when you are saying that you spent 1,000 on food, do you have any supporting document? Do you have like a bill from a restaurant to support the fact, to substantiate that fact? So you will have to provide evidence to your parents. Similarly, in case of a company, see, the directors run the show. Okay. But it is the shareholders' money that they are using throughout the year. So when the year comes to an end, the shareholders naturally want an answer to a lot of their questions. Where was the money used? Did you use it for the purposes that are basically the objectives of the company written in the object clause of the memorandum of association? Did you invest in, if you invested in non-current assets, what all assets did you invest in? How much is the total sale generated? How much is the cost? How much is basically all of these questions on the numerical data points? Now, what the management or the directors will do is when they are answerable to the shareholders. So when you are answerable to your parents, you write it on a piece of paper. You gave me 5,000, this is where I spent it. So when the shareholders are answerable to the so when the directors are answerable to the shareholders, what they will do is they will prepare a statement, one statement which talks about the performance of the company, which is called the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income. Another statement which talks about the financial position of the company as on a particular date, which is your balance sheet. Okay. And then, of course, you prepare statement of cash flow and all of that. What are all of these? These are reports that the directors have prepared to be shown to the shareholders, which is why these set of documents are called financial reports and the activity is called as financial reporting. Now, when we talk of financial reporting, the act of financial reporting is done by the directors. They present the financial statements to the shareholders. But shareholders find it very difficult to trust the directors, and they
Mm.
cannot personally go and inspect every single document. They cannot personally go and inspect, whether sale of 20 crores was done or not. They don't have the time or the expertise to do that. So what they do is they appoint a person who is called the auditor to check the documents on behalf of the shareholders. They go through all the financial information and at the end of it, they present a detailed report to the shareholders of the company, which is known as your audit report. This is how the whole activity of auditing works. But let's take a couple of steps back and let's understand what happens in these financial statements. As we discussed, these financial statements are reports that are made by the directors to show to the shareholders. Okay. And in these reports, these directors are making certain claims. Okay. These claims are known as the financial statement assertions. Now, let's go one by one and we'll elaborate on that in more detail. When I say claim, say for example, I have a balance sheet. Let me show you Infosys ka balance sheet, okay? It's a very good starting point for our discussion. Let's have a look at the Infosys ka balance sheet. This is 2 years old, this balance sheet. Okay. It's You see, what all do you have here? You have non-current assets, property, plant and equipment, right of use assets, capital work in progress, goodwill, intangible assets, investments, loans, financial assets में है, deferred tax, बहुत कुछ है. Similar things are there in current assets also, cash and cash equivalents, investment, trade receivable, so on and so forth. Now, see who has prepared these financial statements? The management has prepared these financial statements. Okay. And what is the management saying when the management writes down that property, plant and equipment is worth 11,656? What is the claim made by the management? The first claim made by the management is that yes, there exists property, plant and equipment. हमारे पास property, plant and equipment है. The existence assertion. The items shown in the balance sheet actually exist. These are not a figment of my imagination. ये मेरे पास है. Existence assertion. Okay. Then when I say that I have property, plant and equipment and I write 11,656, these are mine, right? So I'm claiming that I have a right over these assets. When I say I have a right over these assets, these, what I mean is they are legally in my name. So if you look at the registration document, if you look at the title deed, if you look at the sale deed, it is specifically registered in my name. Ispe mera hak hai, which is the rights wala assertion. Then I am claiming that this value is 100% accurate. ये value correct है, 100% accuracy है, not a penny less, not a penny more. Then I am also saying that I might have 10 different laptops, but the total value, the value of these laptops is 11,656. That is the valuation assertion. I am claiming that the transactions have been recorded at an appropriate value of 11,656. Then, if you see, there are certain investments shown here under non-current asset and certain other investments shown under current asset. So I have made this distinction. This is greater than 12 months. This is expected to be, converted into cash in less than 12 months. So मैं claim कर रहा हूँ. What am I claiming? Through this classification or presentation difference in the balance sheet, I am claiming that देखो, these are investments which are expected to be converted into cash after more than 12 months. These are investments which are expected to be converted into cash in less than 12 months. Okay, so this is the presentation assertion. What is presentation assertion? I'm talking about the correct way of depicting that in the on the face of the financial statements, and I am also making certain disclosures here. Okay, these are, let me take you to the fixed assets related disclosure. Property, plant and equipment. I am saying that I have furniture and fixtures whose expected useful life is 5 years. I am telling this information to you. I am disclosing this information to you. This is also a claim made by the management. क्या claim है कि देखो भाई, these are all the assets available with me. जिसमें building है जिसका यूजफुल लाइफ कैन बी 20 to 25 years, जिसमें प्लांट एंड मशीनरी है उसका यूजफुल लाइफ कैन बी 5 years, जिसमें ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट है उसका यूजफुल लाइफ इज 5 years. Then I am saying that okay, this has been prepared as per Companies Act, blah 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 blah, all of that. So what are financial statement assertions? Financial statement assertions are claims made by the management regarding items that are presented in the financial statements. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go back to and see how does management make that claim. आप ये देखो, यहाँ पे इंडिपेंडेंट डायरेक्टर, चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर, डायरेक्टर, company secretary, CFO of the company and एग्जीक्यूटिव वाइस प्रेसिडेंट एंड डेप्यूटी सीएफओ, ये छह लोगों ने साइन किया। यहाँ पे इट इज नॉट साइन बट एक्चुअली it has to be signed, right? When these people sign the financial statements, that means they have given their approval. They are enforcing the fact that yes, ये कंपनी में जो टोटल सेल था, दैट टोटल सेल इज हाउ मच, दैट टोटल सेल इज 124, देखो 124,014 crores. This is the total sale of Infosys Limited for this particular year. So ये जो सारे claims made by the management है, these are your financial statement assertions. Now what are the primary financial statement assertions? Balance sheet के अलग है और P&L के अलग है। The first one is the existence assertion, which means मैं बोल रहा हूं कि this particular item actually exists। मैं सच बोल रहा हूं that this item actually exists in my books of accounts। लोन है तो लोन is existing। करंट लाइबिलिटी में लिखा है अमाउंट पेएबल टू सत्यमेत, सो दैट मीन्स अ क्रेडिटर कॉल्ड सत्यमेत एग्जिस्ट्स इन द बैलेंस शीट। ठीक है। देन कंप्लीटनेस असर्शन, देयर आर नो मिसिंग बैलेंसेस और ट्रांजैक्शंस, ऑल इंफॉर्मेशन दैट शुड बी डिस्क्लोज्ड हैज बीन इंक्लूडेड विद इन द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स। ओके, सो कुछ भी छूटा नहीं है, एवरीथिंग हैज बीन इंक्लूडेड, एवरीथिंग इज एक्यूरेट, इट्स करेक्ट, देयर आर नो मिस्टेक्स। देन correction जो मतलब when I'm saying that something is correct, the value is correct, the classification is correct, the grouping is correct, सब कुछ correct है। Then the valuation assertion ensures that the transactions have been recorded at the appropriate value, which means कि अगर मेरा non current asset has been revalued and instead of 10,000 I am showing it at 12,000, I am showing it at the most appropriate value that is possible। Then the cutoff assertion P&L में ज्यादा आता है, not so much in balance sheet, but then you have the rights and obligations assertion। right मतलब हक, it is mine, these earphones are mine। how do I know? I have a bill। when I purchased these earphones there was a bill in my name, वो bill पे लिखा था मेरा नाम सत्यमेव नांदेड़कर, which proves the fact that these are my earphones, I have a right। obligation means a promise that I have made for paying a certain amount in the future। so if I show a long term loan of 12 crores, that is my obligation। and how do I know it is my obligation? The loan agreement is in my name, उस पे लिखा है 12 crore। Okay, then classification, correct categorization of balances and transactions। what should go in debt instrument has been classified as a debt instrument, what should be an equity share has been shown accordingly। there are certain places where the classification can be confusing। property plant and equipment hai ki investment property hai, so you are claiming that listen, we have applied all the techniques known to humankind and the classification is right। the last point is presentation and disclosure। presentation is how are the items present, how are the items shown on the face of the financial statements। when I say face of the financial statements, what I mean is जो बैलेंस शीट है, जो P&L है, उसमें जो क्लासिफिकेशन है, उसमें जो ब्रेकअप है, whether that has been done in the manner expected, and disclosure is additional information below the balance sheet। अब अगर आप ये बैलेंस शीट P&L देखेंगे, so this is the face of the financial statements। when I write an item here called revenue, this is presentation। when I split tax into current tax and deferred tax, it is presentation। but when you go here for example, and you are presenting other information about the say goodwill के बारे में या intangible assets के बारे में, you are writing about the accounting policy, then you are giving a breakup, then you are talking about how is amortization done, this is additional information given to help the users of financial statements। this is disclosure। ये पार्ट जो है वो presentation है, नीचे का part is our disclosure। and again both presentation and disclosure have to be made as per a the requirements of the companies act and requirements of the accounting standard। तो ये जो पांच नहीं सॉरी, these seven assertions, these are आपका बैलेंस शीट रिलेटेड assertions। existence which says that a particular item exists in the financial statements, जो लिखा है वो एक्चुअली है। राइट्स मतलब उस पे मेरा हक है, इट इज रजिस्टर्ड इन माय नेम। ऑब्लिगेशंस मतलब इट इज माय बर्डन टू पे, आई एम एक्सेप्टिंग दैट repaying this loan is my burden। valuation is the amount at which you are showing the item in the financials। completeness assertion means सारे transactions have been included, कुछ भी छूटा नहीं है। accuracy means value correct है, classification correct है, सब ब्रेकअप सब करेक्ट है। देन प्रेजेंटेशन एंड डिस्क्लोजर, फेस ऑफ द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स में जो इंफॉर्मेशन देना था, एंड additional information to help a better understanding of that data that has happened as per the Companies Act and the accounting standards. Last thing is classification, मतलब split current non-current, पीपीई इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रॉपर्टी इन्वेंट्री, ये जो स्प्लिट है वो स्प्लिट आपका बराबर तरीके से हुआ है, दैट इज योर बैलेंस शीट असर्शन। ये 7 assertions आर फॉर द बैलेंस शीट। ये 4 assertions जो है कंप्लीटनेस, अक्यूरेसी, प्रेजेंटेशन एंड डिस्क्लोजर एंड क्लासिफिकेशन, दीज आर कॉमन फॉर पी एंड एल ऑल्सो। पी एंड एल में 2 एक्स्ट्रा अलग assertions है, वन ऑफ विच इज अकरेंस। Occurrence assertion basically talks about the fact that transactions which are shown have actually occurred and they pertain to the entity only. मेरे ही transactions है and they have actually taken place, not a figment of my imagination. And cutoff. Cutoff basically signals to the fact that if my financial year runs from 1st of April 24 to 31st of March 25, then all transactions till 31st March are considered, but transactions after 31st of March are not considered. That is my cutoff. So, cutoff procedures we'll see when we discuss individual substantive procedures, but this will help us to understand कि यार ये जो items मेरे financial statements में whatever is shown, these are the claims that the management is making. That is point one. Point two, when we'll frame the procedures, we will frame our procedures in such a way so as to verify the financial statement assertions. मतलब अगर किसी ने बोला कि यार please frame substantive procedures for property, plant and equipment. So in that case, you will think about, okay, what are the financial statement assertions? The first one is existence. तो मुझे चेक करना है whether the non-current asset exists or not. तो मैं कैसे चेक करूंगा? Looking at a piece of paper is not helping. Looking at a ledger is not helping. I will go to the premises of the client and I will do a physical verification there. मैं वहां पे चेक करूंगा कि यार ऐसा कुछ एग्जिस्ट करता है। Is there a building? Yes, I go and I see that there is a building जिसपे board लगा है of the name of my client, and that means that the building exists. Now, I want to know यार board तो मैं किसी भी building पे लगा दूंगा। I want to verify whether it is in my name. Only if it is in my name, it can be included in the financial statements. तो उस टाइम पे मैं क्या चेक करूंगा? I will check the title deed when I purchase the building, or if I constructed the building, I still have to get it registered with the local municipal authorities. तो वो टाइटल डीड है, उसपे नाम लिखा है सत्यमेव नांदेड़कर। आर ऑल ऑफ दीज डिटेल्स प्रेजेंट? अगर वो टाइटल डीड पे नाम लिखा है सत्यमेव नांदेड़कर, दैट मीन्स ओके इट इज इन माई नेम। सो जो राइट्स वाला असर्शन है, वो बिल्डिंग पे मेरा हक है, इट इज माई बिल्डिंग, दैट राइट्स वाला असर्शन विल गेट वेरीफाइड। Then, if I want to check the valuation assertion, now non-current assets initial recognition happens at cost. तो मैं बोलूंगा चलो cost दिखाओ। अब cost कैसे verify करेंगे? If I have purchased the building from someone else, मैं बोलूंगा यार purchase deed का copy दिखाओ ना। तो purchase deed के copy में लिखा होगा 5 crores। वो 5 crores value balance sheet में है कि नहीं check करो। If it is there, that means the original cost has been entered correctly. Now, if the building is getting revalued, ठीक है, बिल्डिंग रीवैल्यू हो गया, you and I cannot revalue the building. You will need a professional expert valuer who will do the valuation work. आप उसको बुलाना। See whether the company has called that person. Company has written the value of the building as 7 crore. तो चेक करो यार, ये वैल्यूअर है, रजिस्टर्ड वैल्यूअर, व्हेन ही कंडक्टेड द वैल्यूएशन डिड ही गिव अ वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट? वो वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट में वैल्यू कितना है, वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट पे डेट क्या है? All of these things put together will help you to verify the value of the company. So जो substantive procedures हम frame करेंगे, the first point that we will keep in mind is what are the financial statement assertions and how can I verify those? What proof can I collect in order to state whether those assertions are true or not? That activity will help you tackle almost 70-75% of the framing of procedures. Apart from that, अपने को रिस्क विस्क भी देखना पड़ेगा कि यार ये पर्टिकुलर आइटम में क्या गलत जाने का रिस्क है। We'll have to spend time on that, but that's a separate discussion. So this is the basic idea of what are the financial statement assertions and how they will help you in framing the procedures when it comes to your AA or AAA paper.